All right, welcome to Creator Hardware, and today we're going to look at, well, weird PCI adapters. Now, little background on PCI. PCI slots we all know and love. They're 100% backwards compatible and slot compatible, meaning you can put a 16X card in a 1X slot with an adapter. You lose the bandwidth of a 16X slot, especially if it's at 16 or 8X. We're going to go over some of these weird adapters I've found, and it allows you to adapt cards that you don't have a PCI slot for, but you can actually utilize at a lower bandwidth. I mean, that's something to consider, is you don't want to put a, graphics card on a 1X slot and play video games. Just not going to work. Sorry, my hair is being weird. So we're going to get into some of these weird adapters. Now, all this stuff's available on Amazon. I'll try to put links to a bunch of it. And there are a lot of weird things that might come in really handy, especially if you got a 3D printer and can print, replaceable, even shorter backplates for adapter cards and stuff like that. But let's get into it. All right, so I'm just using this AMD B450 motherboard as an example. So as you can see, I've got one 16X slots and two 1X slots. Well, let's say you need to put a graphics card in the first slot, the 16X slot, because obviously that's going to be the highest bandwidth needing component. But let's say you also need a 10 gig card. You've got adapters that can go in there. Now they will only be 1X slots. So you're not going to get the full bandwidth of, say, a X16 slot, but you can slot that card in there. Now this is where I was talking about a standard backplate. It's not going to fit in a standard 4U chassis. Now obviously I could swap this out for a 2U and it would fit fine. But if you're going for a 1U, you would definitely need a custom bracket. 3D printed will hold it fine. Now you also have right angle adapters for these kind of situations as well. These are really common in server applications where, 1U kind of thing. This obviously, I don't have enough clearance in this motherboard for this particular adapter with this card, but you can see you can adapt it to a 16X slot and have it go vertical. They come in various depths and all that. This is just an example I got. But you can also do the same thing with a 1X to 16X slot and adapt, say, this graphics card. If, for instance, you didn't have, you weren't doing anything but video out, it would work fine. You definitely would not get full bandwidth. Important to note, you will not get full bandwidth. You get 1X. Conversions aside, you now have 3 16X slots if you need it. Now this adapter that I got from StarTech is obviously taller than this one I got off Amazon, but you see the point is you can kind of, convert your lanes however you see fit. Now obviously the lanes themselves have to be active. If your board is deactivating any of these slots for any reasons, that's with the motherboard, not the adapter, but you can swap in however you see fit. Now, for instance, there will be some band loss, but if, for instance, you need a 10 gig card and you don't have clearance, again, custom backplate may be needed or whatever your case requires, but boom, you can fit a 10 gig card in here with enough clearance. Obviously, you're probably going to lose even more bandwidth adapting to adapters. But they also have right angle 1X to 1X. So you can also, this is kind of the only 1X card I have outside of a server right now. But you can also do right angle on the 1X slot. Just a 4X capture card. You can adapt it that way. There's tons of these adapters around. This is just a selection of them. Like I said, you got 1X to 16. You've got various right angle adapters. Like for instance, you need to add an LSI card and you don't have a slot. boom, there you go. And actually, if I'd have had these when I was doing my Unraid server upgrade, well, they kind of would have come in handy because those slots still work. But these adapters just allow you to adapt what do you have on your motherboard to whatever your needs are in various ways. Like I said, you can do that and then go to an X16 slot if you want to, and then, put whatever you need to. I just thought this video would be helpful to those that don't understand PCI and how universal it really is. You only get 1X compared to 16X. And yes, you will have performance degradation as far as bandwidth, but if that's all you got, get you some of these and expand. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching.